So, Mouldd has sent me a resin coaster kit. That's exciting, isn't it? This entire kit. Let's go play. Hello everyone and welcome to NerdGoblinart. I'm Lula. Okay, so Mouldd very kindly sent me the resin coaster kit. Came really quickly as well. There's lots of information on the box itself, including a QR code, and it tells you what you're going to get in the kit as well, and information on joining the Mouldd community. Always useful, always useful. I do follow them on Facebook and Instagram. So first thing out of the box is some mica powders or pigment powders and gold foil. I always put the gold foil into a jar I have because it goes everywhere. So it looks like a nice pot. Oh, it's sealed as well, which is good. So I'm just going to pop it open a little bit just to see inside so we can have a little look at the colour. There are no names of colours as far as I can see on the pots, just the name of the company Mouldd. And that's a very pretty blue. And something else I noticed, it's quite full. There's a lot of companies where we're getting powders from lately, and you get this jar and there's like 20 grams in there. So that is quite nice to have a big full pot. So blue, black, a lovely purple, a really nice pink colour. They look a bit shimmery. They do look a little shimmery, one or two of them. And this is, it reminds me of like a yellow gold. And this lovely green one, I do like a bright green. So that's 6 pigment powders, plus a little pack of the gold. And there's a pair of gloves. There is another pair I did see fall in the bottom. A large stirring stick, which is always incredibly useful. And then within this package now, we've got some measuring cups and the actual moulds for the coasters. And I gotta say, I'm impressed. They're a lovely size. I do like the geode style, I really do. And they're big, and I like that. I like that they're quite big. And next we've got a lovely silicone measuring jug. And 3 small ones too. These are always super handy. I do use them. I know you see me using a lot of the paper cups. And these are so handy as well, silicone stirring sticks. And this is a nice size measuring jug as well. And it's, you know, squishy. Excuse the bang. So here is your Resin Made Easily book. So you get your information on how to use Mouldd original resin, and it gives you great information. Cleaning up as well. Gives you instructions for using the coasters. It is ideal if you are new to resin and just starting up. It really is. There's tips, there's information on safety and frequently asked questions. Their website is really good as well with plenty of information. So the information booklet is awesome. So there's 2 pairs of gloves in there. And of course, the last part is the actual resin. So it comes in that bag. And I'm going to use this little bag to store the coaster moulds in, to keep them all safe and tidy. So you get your part A and your part B. Your part A is the resin, part B is the hardener. Always a little bit of information on the back and a QR code again, which is nice and easy. And it's equal parts of part A and B, and making sure it's stirred thoroughly. It does say in the book, make sure it's, you know, at least 3 minutes, and you get a 40-minute work time with this resin, which is really good actually. A lot of the resins I do work with don't have as long, so that's nice. So this kit is available on their website, which is linked in the description box. And for all this, at the moment, is £39.99, which is on sale. It's usually £49.99. But that's awesome. And it is free UK delivery. And they do deliver worldwide for £25. So I'm using my own gloves. I do prefer using my black nitrile, only because I have allergies and I do keep the gloves. They will be used at some point, but probably not by me, probably by Mr. Goblin. But I do have a skin condition, so I stick with what I know for now. So I'm going to pour in part B first, reason being the hardener isn't as gloopy as the actual resin, so you get a bit of a better flow. I don't always show me opening bottles and stuff like that, but I thought for clarity, and because I let Mouldd know that I would do a video for them, I thought it only fair to show as much as the process as possible. And also, this kit I think is aimed more towards people who are starting out with resin. And to be honest with you, I think what you get in the kit is great. I do think if you're perhaps thinking about starting using resin, I think for the price, I think it's ideal. It's not a massive amount for all the stuff that you get in there, because in general, just buying the resin alone, I think is around the 30-ish, something like 25 to 30 pound mark, I think. But there you go. So I'm going to do 2 coasters today, and I'm thinking of doing one with green and purple, because I love those combinations, and the other one with the pink and the yellow. Right, you saw me using my Isotoyo Mixer there. It went on for 4 minutes. That is the AI setting on it. Now, regardless, and I say it, I know if you're a regular viewer, I say it every time because it's important to note, because I get new subscribers all the time and we're always welcoming new resin artists. Regardless of using a mixer, make sure you stir up your resin and get it off the sides and off the bottom, because it's the worst thing ever not having properly mixed resin, because it simply won't cure. It's as simple as that. You can tell if it's not perfectly mixed too. It's called, I think they're called striations, but you'll see it, they look like wisps going through the resin. It just means that it needs a bit more stirring. And of course, be wary of the amount you got in a cup. Now, I've made up 8 fluid ounces, and I'm going to split this resin into 2 of my cups. I'm pouring them into plastic cups rather than the ones given, because I put them in my debubbler. Look how clear that is. It wasn't too bad to begin with, but then because when I stirred it with that stick, it picked up quite a few bubbles. That's what happens. You know, the faster you whisk it, or if there's like little indents like they are in those silicone jugs, you're going to kick up bubbles. So you can always let it sit for a few minutes and let the bubbles come up by themselves if you don't have a debubbler. Otherwise, check out different debubblers. Yeah, just check them out. And, you know, I'm saving for a vacuum chamber. So... There we go. I'm going to be mixing up the pink and the I'll call it yellow. It is like a goldy yellow to me. I'm pouring in so much of the powder at first and then mixing it in, then adding more of the resin. The reason I'm doing that is simply because it can cause a mess. When you start, you can be as careful as you want to try and be, but I've always managed to kick up powder out of the cup while I'm stirring it. I have sped this, I'm not going this crazy. I've sped this up because I do take my time stirring and then adding. So once I got the powder mixed into a good amount, you know, really well, so I knew no more powder was going to kick up and go everywhere, I could add a little bit more resin to that cup. And we're going for the yellow now as well. What I notice more so with the pink looks like it has a definite shimmer to it, which is really nice. I do like, sometimes it's nice just to have just to have the pigment powder. But sometimes when it got that little shimmer in it, it just makes it a little bit more special. And this green is beautiful. I know a lot of people say I don't like green. There's quite a few out there. Quite a few of my friends on Discord with the crafty YouTubers United. A lot of them, I don't like green. I love green. It's one of my favourite colours. My 19-year-old, it was their favourite colour when they were growing up. And everything they had to be green. And as a 19-year-old, yeah, they still really love green. And so does my 11-year-old. So there you go. Now, I'm just making sure I'm getting as much of the resin out of this cup as possible. Resin is not cheap. It is an expensive hobby to take up. So, you know, I do try and scrape everything within an inch of its life. It's just the way I am. But there you go. So I'm using my stirring stick. Yes, they provided the lovely silicone, like lollipop stick, popsicle stick types. But they're too big for these small amounts that I'm doing. And that will just be too cumbersome for me personally doing this project the way I'm doing today. So I'm just using my own stirring stick. These are from Amazon. They are just regular cocktail sticks, but they are wonderful. I really like them, and I love the fun of having a disco ball because I do have a party when I'm doing resin. The purple is beautiful. It's a really nice colour. I do notice that these do stir into the resin really nicely. I do have to go back once or twice, but that's because I was being gentle with the resin. But be wary of that. I'm going to add in Diamond Frost to the clear resin. That is one of my favourite glitters. It's a fine one and it does really well in glitter. There's no need to add any glue because it doesn't really sink. But it is a nice one, and that is in the description box below also if you want to order any. But I do enjoy using it, and as you could see there, I was very gentle. So I've just sprayed those coasters with some isopropyl alcohol. Always keep your eyes open for anything that might have gone in there. I have cats, although they're not allowed in the room with me when I am doing resin work. Their hair just magically appears. I even have a roller. I have a roller I use on my desk, and I have a roller that I use on my clothes before I hit the desk. And I still, I'll sit there, I'll look down, and there'll be a cat hair just sitting there. So just check stuff out like that. So if you're new to resin, isopropyl alcohol, you can get it from Amazon. That's where I get mine. And I use a spray bottle. But wear your mask. You don't want to be breathing this stuff, and you shouldn't be breathing it in. Be it on your own head if you choose not to use proper PPE, but I use nitrile gloves, I wear an apron, and I wear a face mask. Occasionally I do wear goggles, but not a lot of the time because I do tend to need to wear glasses. Because I've not burnished any colours into the actual moulds, I was happy spraying the moulds with the isopropyl alcohol, and then you can spray it again. And as you can see there, I'm using my silicone tool just to encourage the bubbles up there. Because these there's the little points. They're not quite points. But because of the geode effect on the sides, that's where the bubbles, they like to sit and just sit and be like, hi, I'm here. So you can use your silicone tool to bring them up and pop them. And if that doesn't work, use a heat gun. You can use a long neck lighter, but if you are using isopropyl alcohol, be careful. You need to let it settle because it's isopropyl alcohol. Yeah, so if you spray it and then use a long neck lighter straight away, it's gonna go on fire. I've only ever had one instance where it happened because I didn't wait long enough. So just be wary of that if you do not have a heat gun and you do only use a long neck lighter. It's why I have preference for the heat gun. It feels a bit safer as well. But I do have one. I do have a long neck lighter. I just rarely use it. So I decided I want to do a crackle effect. Now, I do love the crackle effect. I know everybody's into blooms and stuff, and I've done a few blooms, but it doesn't... they're cool. They are very cool, and I'm more than happy to have a go at them. But I really love the crackle effect. I don't know why, I just always have. I think it's possibly because it's the first ever video I saw on YouTube of somebody making coasters and creating a crackle effect. So that's why I put in a clear bit of resin first. You can put the colour resin in how you like. I think the rule of thumb is do the darker colour on the outside and the lighter colour on the inside. Now you can just do it in circles. I just did a puddle in the middle. I wasn't sure whether to do that or not, but I did, so there you go. And then I just used my silicone tool to do a little shape. Almost like a sun, and I know that that's gonna have an effect on the other side. So this is the bottom. We can't see the top, you know, and that's the thing with resin most of the time. That's why everyone's like, oh, I don't know if it'll work. So, but the resin heats up from the middle, so the resin's gonna pull itself in, and you'll see that on the one on the left. You'll see how quickly the shape starts to change because it's warming and it's going to start pulling in. So that's going to change it anyway. You could look and say, oh, I wish it'd stay like that. But resin does as resin will. I wasn't sure on this one. If I kind of think that I should have put the yellow/gold around the edge and the pink in the middle, but then I was thinking of a flower. You know, I had the idea of like a flower in my mind, so the yellow goldy colour being almost like the centre of the flower. So there you go. It's just me and my brain, but it's fine. It's all fine. It's gonna be fine. Do you see what I mean though about the purple and green? It is such a lovely combination. You only tend to see it mostly around Halloween, but I'll use it all the time. And it is beautiful. I really, really like those colours. They speak to me. So I've poured in the resin. I'm just giving it another spray. And I'm going to do the same. Look, loopy, loopy, loops. Makes it look like a fierce sun. But it doesn't have to be anything complicated. This is just a really simple, easy thing. You don't have to do what I do. But it's a good start, isn't it? It's a simple start. But perhaps don't dump the colour in the middle like I do. It's probably best to circle it around like I done, you know, like I did with the first, when I poured the purple on, just going around in a circle, and then repeat the same with the middle colour. So those need to cure up. Now I used my heat mat because I'm an impatient thing. The mould resin takes 24 hours in all. And look at the crackle. Look at that crackle. It is beautiful. I like both sides, by the way. I'm going to say that now. But this side is lovely as well. But isn't that a cool effect? The crackle is, mwah, it is beautiful. And the colours, I am really impressed with the colours. They're very vivid. And you don't always get that with powders, but this one, check that out. It looks like there's layers. It looks as if it's got like a crystal effect edging from here, doesn't it? That's the way it's gone. It is gorgeous. So pretty. And it's cured beautifully. Like I said, I'm an impatient sort, so I used my heat mat, and that's fine. But I'm going to use these stickers. Like I said, I wanted to do a simple one for you. These are DFT stickers. I can never get the name right, but these are available on Amazon, Temu, AliExpress, all those things. They're used, I think, in general. The idea is for like glasses and tumblers and stuff. So the backing comes off, you place them where your heart desires, and you rub them on, and then you remove the top layer. Now, you don't actually need 2 top coats. Not really. You don't really need to top coat because these stickers aren't really going to go anywhere. But as they're being used as coasters, I would say possibly just give them a top coat, just for them lasting. I just used a pin because I managed to get some bubbles in there. I tried to do the taco technique, but I failed miserably. Sticker's too big for my little hands. So I'm just making sure that it's all rubbed in before taking off the top layer. Just like that. So I don't think I've used the pin yet, actually. You do need to be careful when you are peeling off the top layer, because sometimes it wants to stay stuck to the top, to that top layer. So just be wary, and if it's not staying on the coaster, just gently push it back down and do it again. So look at that, it's so pretty. It's so cute. So very cute. And this sticker is, oh my goodness, I love birds. It's actually my maiden name, Bird. I was called Birdie in school. Although I do love that style. I love that effect on that coaster. I'm going to revisit that, definitely revisiting that. But these birdies are cute. So this is a more successful attempt at the taco technique. So you start with the middle and then push out. So the idea is, as you're pulling, as you can see my fingers go in there, any bubbles are pushed out to the edges. So there you go. And I always use one of these tools. I should get a proper scraping sort of one. This is one that I've got from, I don't know, some other kit, and I always find it really useful for opening bottles up and scraping along. And then I can use this little tippy bit to get the stickers up because I don't have nails. So watch here. If you catches, yeah. As I went to pull up, the log didn't want to come off the actual top part of the sticker. So tried rubbing it down again, and it still doesn't want to come off. So I'll just push it down again, and I'll tackle this sticker from perhaps another angle over the other side. So my opinion, I think the resin is lovely. I did take my mascara down at one point, and there's no horrible odours. There's none of that. But as we always say, use your mask is the best thing you can do. That's come off lovely, and it's looking lovely. Isn't that pretty? Those birdies are so cute. Look at their little faces. I love the backs as well. And with these moulds, you can use them either side. So, you know, whatever you fancy. I just think they're fab. The colours are fab. The moulds are lovely. They're really good quality. And another thing I'm really impressed with as well is the amount of pigment powder in these jars. It's not often you see that, and the colours are absolutely, oh, they're stunning. You can see them yourself. I think they are absolutely gorgeous. Really pleased with it. Fantastic quality. So, check them out in my description box. I hope you enjoyed watching. Love you, and stay very, very weird. Oh, and subscribers, thank you for subscribing, and to my members. Bye!
In a room full of colors and swirls, Nerd Goblin art draws a magic world, with foxes that prance and badgers that dance, a whirlwind of dreams with a single glance. Gerald the alligator grins so wide, in enchanted waters he loves to hide. Dragons breathe wonder with flames so bright, each creature born from a magic night. Nerd Goblin paints life in